What up? I'm Ruth Ann.
I'm Chris.
And we are Geek Chic Promotions, and we have special guest.
Rob Savage. Hello.
What
We've
up?
been talking you up all day.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
on our live stream earlier,
And
and then we just did a
promos.
promo.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, no shit.
I
No.
mentioned Jen Klein.
Yeah, you
was
can.
very
Oh, you can
excited.
curse on our
Can you
show.
swear on us?
Yeah, yes, yes.
No shit.
Right, guys. All right. So this is our first ever kickoff for Game of Theories, if I can say it right. I got really excited about drinking this. So we are going to start doing a show that right after we watch Game of Thrones, Chris and I are going to talk about it and do our theories for the next episode. And they're going to air on Monday so that we don't spoil it for anybody and all that jazz. But since you are such an expert on being able to guess theories and all that kind of stuff for the upcoming season, we want to do a special kickoff live stream where we can chat with you, with everybody, what we think is going to happen on this next and final season of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
And of course, we wanted to celebrate that with drinking some of this amazing whiskey. So cheers to all of you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And
To the last
to
season.
you guys, to the last season. I want Chris show off. Chris also got some special glassware.
I thought it would be sweeter.
We'd already had some drinks when I first bought this for her, got it for her for
Yes.
Christmas. So
Yes. Yeah, we're drinking out of special Game of Thrones glasses too. I am House Stark. You're House Stark too.
I'm also House Stark.
Yes.
Direwolf.
Yep, and Renan is.
I'm almost nervous that I'm not on.
Fire.
Is it on the Geek Chic Facebook Live? Right? It's weird. I'm not getting a notification. That's okay. I'll fix it and then share it everywhere. Yay!
All right, so let's.
All right.
get
So
started.
Chris and I just rewatched the last episode because had to.
We had time.
With the dragon pit and everything.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
we did.
And I'm just so excited.
As am I.
Okay.
As am I. Well,
Tell us.
what do you... Okay.
Like, okay, so you predicted a lot.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
season.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. Let's
Let's go
prove
into your history.
Yeah, let's prove how
Well,
well.
like you were.
Am I bragging about my predictions?
Yes,
Yes,
Is
you
that
yes,
what's
you
happening?
are.
Yes, you are.
All right. I did predict that a dragon was going to die last season.
Okay.
And not only did I predict that a dragon was going to die, I predicted that it was going to be brought back as an ice dragon and that it was going to be the one named after Viserys, because it would be very appropriate given what he originally wanted to do, which was invade Westeros and take it over. So it only makes sense that the bad dragon is named after the bad brother, the bad Targaryen
Oh,
brother.
interesting. See, I didn't go that deep into it. I'll
Well,
be
wait.
honest.
Actually, before we even get farther in this, did you read the books?
No.
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 That's
I
That's
know,
that's
to
really
make
important.
clear.
That's what I just want to make sure that like
No,
everybody
I
understands.
I
you did not
have
read
no
the
book
books.
knowledge. Nothing.
Neither do we.
Okay.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so now with the ending of last season in the Dragon Pit, okay, let's go forth from there of how we think.
Oh, okay. I have questions
So you
though.
have questions.
All right. Do we feel like Cersei's baby is actually Jaime's?
Yes.
Right? I think so.
I think it is too.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, the other thing that I was about, because like
Although we were joking that it was the big
Yeah,
mountain
yeah.
dude.
Ugh.
right, where you're
Oh,
like,
God.
We joke.
That's terrible.
I mean, it's gotten dark on that show. Not that dark.
Yeah.
Not that dark.
I feel like we were
Gone
just
too far.
going dark.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
whatever.
because it's Game of Thrones. And
Yes.
we started to be like, what? And we started talking to each other like, well, no, save it.
Nope,
save it. All right.
And her and Euron have not slept together yet either, so I don't think it's his.
Okay, yeah, that's what one of our questions
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
I could not recall if they had or hadn't.
Yeah,
and
I
was
didn't
like,
think they
so.
had, and I
No.
She just stated it that he was going to marry her. That was
yeah,
pretty
and I
much
feel
it.
like that there was one. Wasn't there one episode where she was like, you know, he knows it's not his, but he doesn't care because he can be king,
Right.
right? Didn't she have that conversation with Jaime?
Shh.
Like not the last episode, second to last or somewhere in there.
Making Euron think that it's her baby.
No, that she
Or
was
his
saying
baby,
that
excuse me?
Euron knew it wasn't his baby, but
Didn't care.
didn't care,
Because
and that
he'd
he'd
be
be
king.
fine, but he'll be king anyways.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like
yeah.
am I making
feel
that
like,
up?
I
Let me
don't
share
know.
this around so people.
I seem to remember her saying to Jaime, like, "I'm gonna tell everyone it's yours," right? Because he was like, "People can't see us like this," because they were in bed together and someone, a servant was there. People can't see
Oh,
us like
that's
this.
right.
And then she said, "I don't care. Like, I'll tell everyone
I
it's,
do,
I'll tell everyone
yeah.
it's your baby."
I remember that,
Yeah.
but then I do remember.
Maybe.
Again, I could
Could
just be making.
could
I'm good at retconning for myself,
Mm.
so that's fine. It's fine.
Revisionist history
Yes.
over here.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that that baby is going to miscarry pretty early on in the season.
Okay, so that's your first prediction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Baby
Number one prediction.
miscarried.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're getting a miscarriage.
Okay.
So that will
Do you
turn
think she's
her
gonna
into.
continue to pretend that she is pregnant though?
No.
I feel like
No?
she'd go on a fucking rampage.
Yeah, that's what I.
Okay.
I think
She's
it'll be
like-
the last shred of
Yeah, that,
humanity she's
yeah,
got left.
yeah, exactly.
Everything's
That's
gone.
what I
Right.
think.
Jamie's gone. You know, and
Right.
I feel like, is it? I mean, can I, based on the previews,
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like I saw her with a glass of wine in one of the trailers.
Well, they don't
Oh, they
know.
don't
Yeah,
care
'cause they
about
don't
that.
care about that.
They
Do they?
do. No,
What?
in the season finale, the one you guys just rewatched.
Yes.
Not carefully though.
Apparently
Is-
not.
Well, he did pour himself wine, and she
And she
said no.
declined.
Oh.
But I don't necessarily think that had to do with her being pregnant. I think she just didn't want to drink
With Tyrion?
with
Him.
Okay. I
You
don't
know what I
know.
mean? Like, to
I
me,
do know what
that's-
you mean.
That's how I read it, because
Yeah.
I feel like, and again, anybody correct me if I'm wrong, because I remember things completely wrong sometimes. That she has like other people have drank while they're pregnant on the show. Like, how would they know
right.
back then
Yeah, right.
that that's a
It just
problem?
begs the question, like, do they know about drinking? Is that a problem
Yeah.
and all that
Is
stuff?
this in the
right?
past or is this just an alternate reality?
I
I mean, like, come on, guys. This is a real history
come on,
here.
come on. This is
Wait,
what happened.
While we're there, I've asked
Yes.
another question.
Yeah.
Tyrion and her were in a room together,
Mm-hmm.
and then it cut away. And the next scene, after Jon and Dany talked a little bit in the Dragon Pit,
Yep.
they all came back, and Tyrion struck a deal with her. Although, obviously, she went back on that deal.
Right.
Some people, I feel like, think that Tyrion and her possibly did come to an arrangement, and that Tyrion is possibly going to double cross.
Oh, and
Daenerys.
that would explain the look
The
when they
look.
right before they hook up. That makes sense, because we were watching Tyrion like
Right.
when what do we call it, the fucking?
Yeah, that's what we called it.
The reckoning, like the fucking
Yeah,
thing.
the
Yeah.
fucking-
Well, the whole episode
Was just
leading
like-
up to the fucking.
Oh yeah,
That's all
there's
it was.
The whole season was.
Yes, it
I know,
was.
but,
Yeah.
but specifically that episode, like between
Yes, Daenerys and
Daenerys
Jon
Sure.
and
yeah.
yeah, and it was
Yeah,
just
they
like
were-
that obvious thing, and we
It
just kept
was-
making
it was
jokes
Bone-
all the
it was
time.
Bone Avenue right
Yeah,
there
yeah,
all
yeah,
the
it was
time.
right headed there, and that's gonna keep freaking me out. But there's Tyrion just gives this look, and they cut to it twice. Like they cut to
Where
it
it's
like
where it's he's like in the shadows and he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah, you can't really tell
But
what his face
I
is,
have-
and that's interesting.
I read a whole thing on that look, by the way, a whole article. And they interviewed Peter Dinklage about it, and they were like, what was that look? Can you tell us? And he's like, oh, I can do one more. I can show you the script. What? And yeah, so he did. He showed the blurb of the script of what he was supposed to be conveying with that look. And that look was supposed
Really?
Yeah. Mhm.
Jesus.
I know,
Okay.
right? And that, but
What if it was a ploy? What if they made up that script page?
didn't
Yeah.
really- it didn't really tell you that much, other than the look was supposed to be one of concern and caring. So it was supposed to be like him clearly caring for her and being concerned about what was happening. So it wasn't anything you didn't already know, but
Right.
the way it read was like incredibly convoluted. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good job conveying that look.
Yeah, because
All things
that's
considered.
originally what I assumed. But like hearing you talk about that, like I could see that, but I really think that she changed her mind about and like came up with her new plan because he figured out that she was pregnant, and she decided to use that as like leverage almost. At like, oh, he thinks he has one up on me, but actually I'm gonna twist it one more time.
Sure. Right.
That's my theory.
My thing on that look, I feel like the most straight ahead way to go is that he knows that the alliance between Dany and Jon is critical with the future of everyone, and them getting romantically involved is just likely going to complicate things, you know.
Absolutely.
As it does.
Yeah, of course, right.
Or is it going to make it easier because he's the rightful heir to the throne?
But
Well,
okay, all right. So
if
wait,
he,
yeah, okay.
if he survives, which he will not. Boom! Next prediction.
Ben just dropped it, just like.
So-
See how I segued into that?
You
That's
think
a big
he's
one.
gonna
I don't have to get
Die
there yet.
again
That's
and
a big
not
one.
come back this time.
I think. Okay, well, the prince that was promised, right? That whole prophecy.
Okay, right.
I feel like we could get into that. There's a lot of different options. I could certainly name all mine, but the leading one I have right now, it's not him and it's not her. It's not Jon and it's not Daenerys. It's sort of both of them combined.
Yeah.
I would love if their child was actually the prince that was promised. And possibly that was sort of a promise for the future, a dream of spring, whichever the last book is called. And I would assume the last episode is going to be called probably. And I...
We're just gonna
and,
go on.
Yeah, and I feel like John, I don't know, he's been brought back to life for a purpose, and I feel like once he serves that purpose, you know, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away.
The whole
I feel
baby
like
thing is so great though, because like
yeah.
rewatching that scene of it, she's like, I can't have children, and he's like, well, who told you that? The witch who killed my husband.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't trust that source.
dude, that girl's knocked up.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, they've been foreshadowing that shit
Now,
all season.
Jon Snow being so honorable though, like his whole thing about being honorable, do you think when he finds out that he's actually her nephew, do you think he's still gonna go through with the marriage and all that kind of stuff, or do you think he'll take that name, or do you think he's gonna want to stay as Jon Snow and bury that fact and that like history?
I wonder if I'm first of all wondering when that's going to be found out. I would think within the first 2 episodes, right?
Right? Yeah, it's gotta be as soon as they get back to
be.
Winterfell, because that's his
Bran
brother and
and
Samwell
old
are going to be like,
Tom, yeah.
wait a second.
Yeah.
But okay, this is one thing that like obviously Samwell and Bran know that they're telling the truth. But like in that world, how do you prove that? Like, well, I'm the three-eyed raven and I saw it.
I feel like they.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
I feel like they know that Bran at this point is the three-eyed raven, and
But like the
everything he
family
says,
does, but then
yeah.
everybody around, how you know what I mean? How do you prove
Sure.
that publicly?
Yes.
Maybe that's just me overthinking.
Like, does it matter? Yeah.
That's also
right.
true.
But that's 2 different things. I'm just wondering about Jon. I thought where you were going was once Jon and Dany find out, will they continue sleeping with each other?
That's my first question as well.
Right. So with that, I don't know. I feel like the answer to that's no. So sometimes I think that they're going to have been in love. She's going to be pregnant. They find out. It's sort of tragic in a way that they can't keep whatever.
They're going somewhere first together on their way to Winterfell. It's a long time.
Yeah, well, no, they're just traveling together via the roads to Winterfell. They're not. It's not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sailing or whatever. They'll get there in the first episode. I
Yeah.
think.
Well, they will, but it'll be like months have passed because that's
Yeah.
how long it takes to get there. So do you think
Sure.
they'll be pregnant by the time they find that out?
Yeah, I think
Well,
so.
that would be the
Yeah.
most dramatic.
Yeah.
As taking from Littlefinger's game of like, what would be the most dramatic? You know, like, what's the worst thing
I
that
gotta
could
circle back
happen?
to Littlefinger in a few
Yes.
minutes, just
Yes.
FYI.
Okay,
but
just.
sure.
Oh, sorry. Let me put a pin right.
Yeah, just
Littlefinger,
remember
there you
Littlefinger.
go.
But so I feel like, especially because you know they are both heroes on this show, it would be a little difficult to have them as heroes sleeping together, knowing that they are related.
Yeah, agreed.
So,
that's why.
to me, it's like a way to have a very pure Targaryen bloodline with a child, and it's again the whole Prince that was promised thing. I wonder if that's woven in there somewhere, and I think that once they find out, they will stop, but they'll still love each other. But you know, I think there's also going to be so much action that happens pretty soon after they find out. There's not going to be much time for.
Yeah.
For all
Sex.
that nonsense.
Well, they've found time for that before.
Well,
in this show.
yeah. That boat ride really hooked them up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She was like, what was it? She was like, well, I don't want to go to war with them. You know, I just need their help. So I am going to travel. And we're like, she wants to fuck.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
She wants to get on the D. That's all that
Jorah
was.
knew it too.
Yeah.
Poor Jorah. He was like, God,
like, oh, I
just
know.
rub it in my
Oh,
face some more.
We were laughing about I think it was for the 4th season. There was that great Honest trailer that was the one that that's the reason I remember Sansa's name every time, because he's like, I don't know if her name's Sadza. It's like everything just keeps going so shitty for her.
Yeah.
But then the other thing is they called him Sir Friendzone.
Oh yeah, Sir
Sure,
Friendzone.
right.
Sir Friendzone.
We've been
That's
calling him that.
Friendzone,
That's
yeah.
I don't. That's
Get-go.
I don't know his
Yes.
name.
But I think
Sir
he likes
Friendzone.
Jon though. I feel
I
like
agree.
he's come to a place where he's like, look, that's never gonna happen for
Right.
me. You know, when he gave Jon the sword and he said like it'll always be yours, give it, and by the way, give it to your kid after you. Another
Yeah.
foreshadowing of his
Yes.
kid. And while we're on Jorah, I think a lot of people think he's gonna die. I don't. I feel like he survived grayscale and all that stuff, not to die. I feel like he is going to end up becoming the next Lord Commander of the Night's Watch,
I
which
can
would
see
be
that.
cool because his father was the
Yes.
was the
No,
Lord
Yeah, they're
Commander.
gonna have to rebuild that wall and everything
And
too.
Sam, by the way, will be his maester.
Of
Sam,
course.
right? Because they had that
I
connection
love
from
Samuel so much. Like
Yeah.
seeing him
Yes.
again in this last episode, I was like, huh, Samuel,
Yeah. He's the man. Gilly, I could take her lead.
I don't like her.
Yeah. I mean, like, I appreciate that she gave him a piece, but like, other than that, I'm just like,
That baby, by the way.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's sometimes the one thing where I'm like, wait.
What's up with the baby?
Well, just I don't really know, not what's up with him, but just like, why is he not older? I feel like, in terms of everything else, in terms of dragon growth and everything, it's been years. The whole series that the baby is like
still a baby.
2 years old. You know, I don't know. I'd like to see like a
it's that inbred
7-year-old.
genes just keeps just.
Yeah, just was she raised by her father?
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, actually, technically, her grandfather.
Grandfather.
Yeah, that baby was meant for White Walker marking. You know. Yeah, that's gross.
All right, so let's get back to Littlefinger now.
Okay.
Okay. So.
I still need to ask you guys though about the prince that was promised and who you think. So just mark that too.
Oh, honestly, I was thinking it was Jon Snow.
I don't think I never thought it was Jon Snow.
I was like going face value though. I was not looking deep into it.
Right.
I kind of didn't. I don't know why I didn't. I was always just like. Doo-doo-doo.
Sure, just going
Sadly,
along with it.
yeah.
Right.
Is
Right.
it-
Okay.
Wait, what were you doing? Oh, cool. I just want to be sure.
That's good.
Thanks.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't gone into that, but I'm liking the idea that it is Jon Snow's and what's her butt's baby. Like, I feel like that would be.
But then you would need to see the baby. I'm like contradicting myself right now, but like you would almost need a time jump to see the baby like wield that sword, the sword that goes on fire and Lightbringer, right? Isn't that sword called? And all that, which I'd be fine with. But I just wonder if that'll happen. I just I don't know. I mean, and as much as they've referenced Jon Snow as the Princess Promised, they have referenced her just as much. Like that Kinvara woman, she essentially said it. She was like, she's the one who was promised.
Yeah.
You know,
What if it's
dragons and
Cersei's
fiery
baby?
flesh.
Like, no, please
And then
no.
some people say Jamie. You know, I feel like that
What
would
if
be
it's
kind
just
of
like
a wild
Bran?
card
Like,
choice.
totally throw it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like-
The boy who can't walk in.
Or if it has to be a sword, Arya.
Could be. I don't think it is, but could be.
I
Good
love
twist.
Arya so much.
I think Arya's
If
killing Cersei.
Arya dies in this season, I'm not gonna do well. Like, I'm just not gonna do well. She best not die.
She won't die.
Like, that was because rewatching that last
Rob said she's
episode.
not gonna
Okay.
She's not gonna
So
die.
it's
So
fine.
you're all
fine.
You're gonna have to answer to me if she does
I
now.
know, I
You
will.
literally just said
I know.
that was gonna happen. So I'm just saying.
I say Arya's. I mean, Arya has never had a very, very major kill besides Walder Frey off of her list, right? I mean, I suppose she got the dipshit who was in Bravos, Meryn Trent or whatever his name is, who stabbed her in the eye. But
yeah, the
Walder
whole-
Frey was the
yeah,
biggest one,
the
right?
red-
She
the
never
red
got Joffrey,
wedding.
she never
Yeah,
got
yeah.
Tywin, she never got Cersei was always
I really hope
one
she
of the
kills
biggest
Cersei.
names on her list, and of
God,
course
I love
Cersei, Jamie, which one of them is going to kill her if she even dies, by the way?
Well, and the tricky thing about Arya too is if there's any point that Arya's like missing for a little bit, she could be anyone.
Anybody. Yeah.
Jamie could die at Winterfell. Arya could wear Jamie's face to kill Cersei. That could happen.
That could happen.
And by the way, Arya and the
I hope that
Hound
happens.
could go in as a pair and take on the Mountain,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Hannibal,
Yeah.
and Cersei.
Well, I mean, the Mountain has to die in fire, like obviously. I feel like that's how he's good.
Because he's kind of a white himself in a way, isn't he?
In a way, but also
Yeah.
because of
That
what he did
prediction.
What he
to
did to the Hound.
yeah,
Sure,
to the Hound.
sure,
Like
sure,
that's
sure.
the only, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yeah.
how the Hound is gonna kill him is with fire.
Yeah. Do you think the Hound's gonna die?
Yes,
You do.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I
do
think-
too, on set.
It's sad.
Yeah.
I think that Arya's. I mean, not that she hasn't forgiven him already, but I feel like it's gonna be an actual like pure forgiveness.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's
Yeah.
gonna be like you
They
said
gotta
that
wrap
he.
that up.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
I could see
nicely,
them like
please.
working together.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
the time of that final, for that
Yeah.
whole final sequence.
Is Brianna Tarth gonna end up with our favorite wildling and
Ah,
make giant
right.
babies?
Please.
That's tough because don't you see Tormund's a really easy one to see die.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
Let me while we're talking about people
With that
dying
glorious hair
and the beard.
and the beard.
All right. Do you think that there's going to be a major death right off the bat, or do you think it's going to be a fair amount of B deaths leading up to, like for me, episode 3 is where we have the giant battle at Winterfell, and then episode 5, I think there's going to be another giant battle in the south. Do you think in episodes 1 and 2 there's going to be any major deaths, or do you think it's more setting up the pieces, and maybe the White Walkers come through and they like Karstark and those kids who swore allegiance to Jon and Sansa.
I just realized who the prince
through.
might be is the bastard prince that that Arya hung out with for a bit.
Gendry?
Is
The Smith?
Yeah. What if he's the prince?
No, that's a long.
Look at that face! Look at that face!
Wait. Don't mistake that as a face for ooh, maybe. Mistake
No,
that as a face
I know
for...
that's a stank face. You just gave me a stank face for that idea. I'm just throwing shit out there.
I don't want to.
This is way too
stifle
late
ideas
for
here.
a live
I was
stream.
like, no.
But
Yeah, just like.
I'm gonna go with the big no.
But it was just like the stank faces from both of you. I might turn that into a meme later. I'm not gonna lie.
I did that to you about Arya earlier too.
Yeah,
I'm being cruel.
Yeah.
But I think you're wrong.
I think there's gonna be a bunch of B deaths, by the way. Like at first to like
so
close
who?
B.
What do you think?
Like
Beric, Tormund, Grey Worm.
Yeah.
You know.
I think
higher than Grey Worm.
He's going down, by the way.
He's
going down,
but they're gonna keep him around just for a little bit of bullshit first.
For that whole thing with him and Missandei, I don't give a shit about. You know who I give a shit almost as much with those two as I do about the entire Greyjoy storyline.
God, right.
Like, and I don't want to. God, the amount of screen time that unfortunately will have to be wasted on wrapping that all up.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Well, to be
gonna go
fair, these
rescue-
last couple of seasons,
yeah.
they've been really quick of like wrapping shit
that
up.
Well, they
I
can
mean,
wrap
he
that
might
one up in
get
5
it.
minutes
Yeah,
as far as I'm
right.
concerned.
If they wrap it up, it might be that quick for him.
Do you
Yeah.
think that he lives and she dies, or she lives and he dies?
She lives, he dies.
Probably, right?
gotta
He
be.
goes and saves her,
Right.
and that's
Yeah.
his redemption, and
Mhm.
she's
And then
Queen of the Iron
yes,
Islands.
Yep.
exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because she's the queen that is a good queen and
Yes.
Yeah,
That's what.
yeah.
He's just
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
pussy.
right.
I know it was nice seeing him finally stand up, and the fact that like him not having a dick was what saved him in that fight.
Yes.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
It
good.
was like not having balls is my strength.
Yeah, I didn't. That scene, it was 10 fucking minutes. I was
I
like,
know, I
guys,
was like,
just
oh.
move it on. But
It was brutal.
and
but
you guys
I-
just watched that.
I feel like it was kind of necessary, even on the rewatch, like
Yeah,
have
it
that
was-
because like it couldn't have been a quick thing. Like it needed to like that was his redemption
Sure,
moment.
sure.
Also,
Yeah.
though, it should that like, he's really an idiot. Like the guy spits in his face and he's just like, like an
He
idiot.
was.
I was
The
He
other
was
guy.
like, why do you let him hit him in the face? And I was
Like,
like,
hit him
well,
in the
he's just
face.
slow. Like he's just not a good fighter.
And then like the guy punches him. I'm like, you didn't see that coming? He literally just spit on your face. You didn't see the punch? Like, come on.
I
Well,
could
I
I could
think-
weigh on this, but I think I probably like was eating a pretzel during that scene.
Yeah.
We're multitasking, by the way.
Yeah, I feel like in some ways that he was taking it as punishment for himself for letting his
One could
sister
see it
die.
that
Like
way.
that's
If
kind
we're
of how I
being
saw it.
generous.
If I'm being retconning and doing this again, I think yeah. Anyways,
You're being generous.
yes, I am.
So B deaths. Give me
All right,
who you think's
B
gonna
deaths.
die before
Brienne
episode
of
3.
Tarth.
Before episode 3.
She's
No.
gonna go. Yeah,
Really?
I think so.
Shit.
'Cause she like people love her.
It's true.
They have to.
It
stay
has to be
on point.
Yeah, they have to give us something brutal. You're right. It's probably gonna be.
Don't you think Jamie's gonna die in her arms?
No, I think
Well,
she's
that
gonna.
would
I think
be-
she's gonna die saving Jamie.
Really? I would
If
do
she
that the
dies?
other way around.
Really.
I would like it if it was that way, but I
Yeah.
don't think
I don't know. I think they're gonna make her the stronger person. I don't know.
It's too bad that we did end up doing this later than we usually do live streams, so we don't have people like weighing in. Because I was like,
We've
curious.
had a lot of people on YouTube watching, but they're not commenting, guys. You're not commenting. You're just listening.
Wait, did we put the comments?
Mhm.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Brienne.
Okay. What's one that's not like too big but still gonna hurt us? What's his face? No.
I want to get to Littlefinger. We have
All right.
only like 5 minutes left of this.
Oh, that's
We
right.
do?
Yeah.
Jesus.
We go. Wow.
Crickets.
Yes,
We went
I
really
All right, let's
fast.
go. The little thing.
Littlefinger.
So,
Yeah.
Littlefinger.
What was the thing?
What
that
were you gonna say? Because he's dead.
Well, there was.
Is he?
I thought up until the second to last episode of last season that Littlefinger was ultimately going to be the main and human antagonist of the entire series. I thought that Littlefinger was responsible. Well, he was for all the major, Civil War things that have been going on in Westeros this whole series, and that he was possibly going to like be in league with the White Walkers. I understand maybe not, but it could be that Littlefinger possibly also faceless, what have you, faceless men like Arya's thing, I don't know, possibly there was something at work there. Unfortunately, I don't think so. I do think
Yeah,
that
I don't
that's
think
done,
so.
but I could see Arya wearing his face for something in the future, possibly
can
to
see
get
that
King's
too.
Landing or
Yeah.
something.
Because she did
But-
split it right there.
I could see that. I could also see Sansa, because she said she learned so much from Littlefinger of becoming her own version of Littlefinger, and she becomes like somebody who uses like all this knowledge to kind of like turn stuff, like obviously because she can't fight in the war, but she uses it in her own way.
Becomes a manipulator.
Yeah.
kind of.
Right. Okay, wait. Do we really only have like 5 minutes left?
Yeah.
We can go a little over. It's not that big a deal.
All right. Well,
but-
then I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start.
Start.
I'm gonna
Go,
start
go,
like major
go.
bottom line this. I gotta put my
You
whiskey
gotta put
down.
your whiskey down.
All right.
All right.
I've been drinking
Lay
too
it
much.
on us.
Okay. Questions. First of all, in the end, is the throne still in existence, or does the throne get destroyed? And if it's still in existence, do you think it's gonna land up on it, or do you think no one's gonna land up on it?
There was really
that, I
there
might
was
quote more
yeah
questions.
there was one really funny theory that somebody has that the White Walker's actually weighing and the king of the White Walkers sits on it, but it's actually made out of dragon glass, so he just dies and it's over. Who
That's
ends up on
fascinating.
it, right?
Of Isaias.
I think it's gonna be the why do I keep playing on his name? You just said his name again. The bastard.
Gendry.
Yeah.
Robert's.
I
bastard
think
son.
they're all gonna fight and like everything's gonna kind of fall apart and I think it might just be end up him.
Okay.
Really? I don't know if anybody's going to end up on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to remain empty.
I think that.
Game over, man. Game over.
Daenerys' vision in season 2 in the House of the Undying, she came right up to it. Remember, the roof of the Red Keep was blown out. It was snowing.
Yes, I remember
She went
that.
to touch the throne, but she never actually touched it. She instead went to go look for her dragons, and she's been talking a lot about breaking the wheel. I think that she possibly will have the option to,
And
but
then
instead
destroy it?
will destroy it. And possibly different regions will govern themselves. Like I could see Gendry ruling Storms, whatever it's called, Storm's End or whatever it's called.
Keep, Storm-
Yeah,
like
Robert's.
that.
The Baratheon stronghold. Yara is the Iron Islands. So it's maybe Tyrion goes and rules Castle Rock, if he's still alive. It's Sansa is in the north, etc., etc. So I feel like there's gonna be no one sitting on the throne in the end.
Yeah. And I just had a flash of why Cersei's baby's probably gonna die, because she had that fortune teller, whatever, say that she's gonna have 3 children and she's gonna watch them all die. They didn't mention, or like, right?
Yes, I mean she's already watched her 3 children.
Yeah,
die.
but I mean,
This would be
but they
right.
said you're having 3 children, you're gonna watch all 3.
Oh,
3
so like
children
she doesn't even
die.
have this child, right? Sure.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that baby's is in trouble, unfortunately. All right, so that's the Iron Throne. Big deaths now. Do you think, first of all, will Jon Snow ride Rhaegal? I think yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Will
fans will burn shit to the
Yes.
ground
Yeah,
if he
yeah,
doesn't
right.
ride a dragon after all of this.
will another dragon die? And which one?
I think both are going to die. I'm sorry.
That's gonna be unfortunate.
I know, but I think you're like that you don't completely
fault
disagree
now.
with.
Yeah.
That's your fault.
I don't want that to happen.
You did it. You kill those dragons. I'm sorry. I love dragons. I don't want them to die, but I think they're going to.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a trade-off, like that you can have this throne or what, like there's going to be something, or again it could. So that's my biggest question too, is that White Walker dragon versus regular dragon, do their flames cancel each other out, or does a live dragon does that kill or
Right.
burn because it is a White Walker?
Sure. Who knows, right? I mean, I think to me, in order to kill the Night King, you need, the prince that was promised
Right.
is the flaming sword,
Right.
I do think that Viserion, the undead dragon, can be killed possibly by Drogon or Rhaegal, but I don't think that dragon fighter can kill the Night King. I think
Yeah.
that has to be with the sword,
Agreed.
the big sword.
Okay.
The big sword.
Yeah. Let's see. And okay. So you think both dragons are gonna die? Do you think Drogon's gonna die as well, or just Rhaegal?
I think just Rhaegal. I don't think they're both going to die.
I could see Drogon living. I hope he does.
I know. I
or
don't want
if
to
they
be the bad guy here,
They
but
could
I
possibly
just
lay
we
eggs,
don't know.
and there could be like a
Yes,
future for
there could
future
be.
eggs. Do you think this is a big question? I think in episode 3, it's a gigantic battle at Winterfell between the White Walkers and basically everyone who's alive, with the exception of Cersei and her golden
Yeah,
company.
because that gives us 2 movies basically, because these episodes coming up are going to be an hour and a half long each. So it's going to basically give us 2 movies before. Yeah, I agree. By the 3rd episode, that's going to be the big battle.
Yes, right. The first 2 episodes I think are an hour, and then episode 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, then that makes sense.
Then episode 3 is from there. Then I think they're like longer, 80 minutes or something. But do you think that the White Walkers will win that battle and then go further south,
Yes.
or do you think the White Walkers are done there?
I think they're gonna win.
I think they're going to win because that's going to fuck up
do.
Cersei's backstabbing thing.
I'm gonna say this: if the White Walkers, if there's a gigantic battle as good as the battle is up at Winterfell in the 3rd episode, and if that's it, and if the White Walkers get beaten, I'm gonna be pretty pissed, because this whole series has been. What?
No, just continue. Go.
Yeah, this whole series has been White Walkers. Like, even though all this stuff's happening here, the White Walkers are coming, right?
Yes.
If the Great War is only like 3 episodes long, like, to me, I want Winter to cover that motherfucking continent.
That's exactly how I feel.
Well,
like, when you said
I
that's
feel
why
like
smiled,
I feel
'cause
like
was
it's already
I know
because
where you're
on the
coming
last
from.
episode it shows that snow is falling even at
Yeah, but I want
actual.
I
When we
want
say
them
winter,
down there,
we want
I
death
want
winter.
everyone fucked.
Everyone.
And then and then there's a promise for how it can get undone and better or whatever. Maybe the Princess Promise. I don't know, but I want it to go beyond Winterfell. I don't want them to just be done.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I agree. I don't think they're going to be conquered at Winterfell. I think it's going to be like.
Also, it's got to be epic.
Oh,
Like, it really does. Like, it can't just be like, here it is.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yes.
there's got to have stakes. Like, oh shit. Like, and
So
then,
who are we going to lose in that battle then?
Grey Worm, Beric, possibly Jaime.
It's probably gonna be Jaime because that's
it's probably the biggest
okay.
one.
That's totally what's gonna send Cersei over the edge
It
because
will.
if Jaime's dead and then she miscarries,
Yeah.
that she's gonna go
Oh.
Berserk.
fucking
Yeah.
bananas.
Well, she could also threaten to burn all of King's Landing, right? Because the wildfire is
Yes.
still underneath the Red Keep and everything. It was under the Scepter Baylor. She used that, but I think it's supposedly everywhere.
Yeah.
So she could go all Mad Queen, kind of like Mad King, and do that. Or Daenerys could have a possible heel turn, and heel like in wrestling, you know.
Yes.
And she could.
like in wrestling.
I don't know. You do, right?
Yes.
Do you watch, yeah. And
That's not just a wrestling term.
is it been a generation? Oh, okay.
It's fine.
We have 2 minutes. So she could end up I could see either Jon Snow getting killed down there, or maybe her dragon getting killed down there, or something, and her going friggin' her turning bad. I don't think so.
I don't think that's gonna happen. It's
I
a
don't either.
possibility.
It's been foreshadowed a lot. It has.
I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, it's
and also she is kind of touchy sometimes. I mean, she has gone full out like. "Arr."
If Tyrion backstabs her, then yes, I feel like then she's gonna.
Oh, yeah,
that's what's gonna click
There's
her.
one person we haven't talked about yet, really, and that might be, depending on which time we have a good place to. Do you think Tyrion's gonna live or die?
He's gonna live.
Because Tyrion could be. You know how they've had a few gigantic deaths on this series that have just made people want to just throw it across the room. Tyrion could be their final.
I think I don't think he's surviving this season.
I'm gonna stick with yes, he survives.
Okay.
We'll see.
I've always said yes too. I know it's a possibility, but in my mind, yes, Jon Snow
But
dies.
that's the thing
Daenerys, I'm
about
not
Game
sure
of
about.
Thrones is that it's always been really good about really burning us with killing the person that we're like, they won't,
Right.
right?
Well,
There's no way.
They were following the books. Remember that.
That's also true, but that's even more terrifying because they can do what they want. Do you know what I mean?
They haven't done it though. That's the thing.
But I think they have sort of benchmarks and bullet points from.
Oh, yeah,
the
they
author
definitely
that
do.
You know what I mean?
But I mean, the
Also,
author did that to us already.
We
like,
saw how that's
Right.
going with The Walking Dead, and it's not going well.
Well,
They go on that same pattern.
No. Walking Dead tried to do it, but they failed miserably because every time somebody was about to die, you knew they were going to die
Because they were main character and you liked them.
Well, no, because in the episode right before they die,
Welcome to
literally in
this
the next.
season, though, I thought. Sorry.
Hmm.
No.
Stop
You guys
watching.
don't?
No, we just
Stop
stopped. To be
watching.
fair, we stopped
Oh.
watching it seasons ago. Like,
And I even worked
I almost would have too, but this past season was
I
good.
literally
Anyway,
worked
proceed.
there.
I know, like,
Watch it,
well,
so-
you worked for the comic book, not the TV show, so.
Doesn't matter.
But the problem with that show is that it would broadcast so aggressively when they're about to kill somebody because there'd be like this very sweet and wonderful moment of that character, and you're like, well, they're gonna die. Sure enough, like literally 5 minutes later, horrible death.
Yeah.
But I feel like Game of Thrones was always better than that, and that
They've been smarter.
Sure. Yeah.
that Red Wedding though. I wish somebody would film my reaction because we would be famous right now.
Can we do this before we finish?
Yeah.
Most either shocking or heartbreaking or just a moment that made you the most sort of unsettled
I was just about to
on
say it.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's tricky though, because it goes. The Red Wedding was really awful, but then Sansa getting raped was really. That was very difficult.
That was, I think it was Ned Stark being beheaded, and then his head on a spike where Sansa had to look at
See
it.
it.
Yeah.
But
Like,
also,
that was horrible.
Arya having to see the aftermath after the Red Wedding.
Yeah, when she was with the
Right.
head. Oh my God, the
Yep.
direwolf's head sewn onto
Yeah.
Robb Stark's body.
Yep.
That was horrible.
So I think I'm gonna stick with the Red Wedding because
You know.
that
was
whole
horrible.
thing. Because I did
Although
not.
everybody who read the books was like, hey, we knew it was coming.
And like,
Yeah. Smug
like,
bookers.
rain on you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have two.
Okay.
One for me.
It
Would-
replayed it, I'm sorry, that was funny.
One for me would be when they burn Shireen alive. That
God,
I
I
think
forgot
of
about
everything
that.
else. That was the moment that I truly was like, I would rather look away from this right now. Like the
Yeah.
Red Wedding, I was able to watch. I was upset by it, of course, but I sort of saw it coming too. But Shireen getting burned alive, I did not see coming.
I didn't see that coming
And
either.
I was like, wow, they're doing this. Like they're burning
was
a little kid
awesome.
Also,
alive.
Melisandre giving birth to a demon smoke baby was a little weird.
That was big.
It was weird, but not.
But not necessarily as
Scarring.
upsetting.
But like,
It was
Yeah.
nothing
gross.
like that has happened. So,
Yeah.
like since.
Yeah, I
That was
mean,
big.
well,
It's, like,
I mean,
so
I feel like in the
weird
books there was a
thing.
lot more magic stuff that happened because, like, in the books, the Starks, the mother Stark actually comes back to
Comes
life.
back.
Yeah.
My
Yeah, I
mom
heard
told me
that.
that.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
I'm
like,
glad
I
you
feel
did
like I'm really
Yeah,
glad
I
that
like
would have been
that,
like
yeah.
a little bit too much, and I feel like the
People
smoke
were
demon
waiting
baby.
for it. Though.
Yeah,
They were waiting for it.
but I can
because it
see
was a
why they
major
didn't.
Part of the books.
Yeah, but I can see why they didn't do it because that's a
Why they
lot.
didn't,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's just and it's.
Well, it didn't fit.
I'd have
Yeah.
to know. Yeah, I'd have to know
Yeah.
what the whole point was, but it
Yeah.
seems to me like why.
It would, yeah, it just wouldn't fit
seems
on. I
superfluous.
mean, like, and I look at different other fantasy movies and TV shows, you know, from books that like would do the same thing of like, for instance, in Lord of the Rings, they cut out the whole Tom Bombadil thing because like in a book while you're reading it, that makes sense in that whole world, but then like on the movie, you just be like, why don't you just give him the ring then? Like, just,
Right, yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
So I understand why I was just like, well, if you can bring back the mom and this, just fucking bring everybody back. I don't get it.
Right.
Hey,
on that note, do you guys think that we're gonna see characters that we love who die in the Night King's
oh
army?
no!
Like, do you think we're gonna see like an undead Grey Worm and an undead
might.
Tormund and an undead Brienne or whatever? Because we
Yeah,
never
we
really
might.
have seen that. Like the only time, and this is
Yeah,
the
you're
upsetting
right.
thing. I was thinking about that. Remember in Hardhome, that woman, the wild woman who you got to like in that episode. I think she had kids and she sent them with Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Right.
And when he raised them, she was the one that you kind of knew. You're like, oh shit,
You're
like,
like,
her,
oh,
I
come
liked
on,
her,
bro.
right?
Yeah.
But they've never beyond that, besides Viserion, really done that.
I think it is going to happen. It has to.
It has to, like, especially,
Probably, right?
what if, like, so
'Cause that
Brienne
kills you.
dies, and then Jaime has to fight, like,
Oof.
the White Walker Brienne.
Right. Or vice versa.
Yeah, sure. Right, like imagine seeing Brienne as a white. That'd be bad.
Pretty badass.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, like, even that scene so between
Like a
the
Tormund
Hound
would
and
tap
her.
that then.
Yeah, between the Hound and her, like, and she's like, you're alive, and he's like, well, almost, like, you almost got me. And she's
Right,
like,
right. You came pretty close.
Yeah, you came
Right,
pretty close, yeah.
Right. Sure. All right, wait. We should probably end on a slightly happier note.
What? It's Game of Thrones. How
Even
could
though the
we?
show might not. Let's see. Well, okay. They keep saying it's going to be a bittersweet ending, right? Of course, and we've talked
That means
a lot.
people die, but in the end, good wins. That's
Yeah.
how I take that. Bittersweet.
Yes, yeah. You think that good wins definitively in the end?
with taking heavy tolls.
Yes, heavy toll. So that's
No
why it's
victory without
bittersweet.
sacrifice.
It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay.
Nothing
Okay.
would make me happier if Arya ended up on the throne. Like, that would literally, I'd just be like, thank you. Like, everybody else is dead, it's just Arya on the throne.
I think Arya sets out. Remember, she said what's
Oh,
next
yeah.
to Westeros.
Oh yeah. No,
Remember?
she's
Like,
she's
she's
gonna
out.
get. I feel like either she's gonna get everybody on her list, or everybody on her list is gonna be done, and she's gonna be like, bye.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't
like a wolf.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
she didn't.
That's not
She
you.
never wanted to be the lady of Winterfell. She didn't. She's like, I never want to be a lady, and you're
Yeah.
always a better lady than I could ever be. Like, she's not gonna do that. She's definitely she's gonna want to just go and do her own thing for sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay.
All right. Well, I feel like this is a good place to end. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
If there's any time you want to watch Game of Thrones with us and then join us for a proper,
Totally.
one of
Yeah.
our
Discussion
episodes.
afterwards.
Yes.
Oh, like a live reveal,
We
like
Yeah.
a
not
fresh
gonna do
raw
it live
reveal.
because we don't want to spoil.
Yes. So we'll,
So
but we
we'll
will
record it,
do it
then
right
we'll show
after,
it the next
and then we'll
day.
show it on
Right,
Mondays.
right,
Yes.
but
So
a
yes.
fresh
Yes.
reaction.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right. Scary. God.
Right. It's gonna be a lot of.
I don't want them to end. I don't want this to be over.
I
know.
Like, I don't
It
want
was-
the premiere tomorrow because that means it's gonna end in
Yeah,
6 weeks.
and like
Yes.
when we were watching this last episode, just like all the sound effects of like the the song coming in, the music in the background, we're like, oh, I
Yeah.
missed you, Fran. You were a part of my life every week.
Yep.
I missed you.
Absolutely.
But yes, thank you again for joining.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for joining who did, and hopefully we'll see you on Monday when we discuss this first episode of this last season.
Yep.
Yay! All right, thank you guys again. We'll see you soon.
To the Imp's delight.
So what?
What?
Isn't that Tyrion's wine that he wants to make? The Imp's
Shit.
delight.
Oh!
Come on,
Oh.
girls. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
End it.